What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including MJF walking out of AEW, is Goldberg his replacement in AEW, Samoa Joe no-shows, the WWE star getting a new gimmick, the real reason Bryan Danielson left WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at MJF walking out of AEW. Our top story today takes a look at a heated situation between MJF and AEW, and it looks like MJF has legitimately walked out of the company. The story first circulated when MJF was scheduled to attend AEW Fan Fest yesterday, but he never showed up. The security team involved in the event tried to get MJF on the phone, but they were unable to get a hold of him. This was said not to be a work, and AEW were forced to offer saddened fans a refund or a ticket exchange. This entire situation quickly escalated when it was revealed by a number of sources that MJF had booked a flight home and wouldn't be at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view event this evening. PW Insider would then report that MJF wasn't on the actual flight and has been seen in Las Vegas, the site of tonight's pay-per-view. It's well established that MJF has a lot of resentment towards AEW currently, as he believes that he's worth more than he signed for and his pay should represent his position in the company. PW Insider have also reported that MJF has isolated himself from the rest of the locker room, so it looks like MJF is truly fed up with his position in AEW. It now looks like this animosity is playing out in real time. At this stage, it remains unclear if MJF is going to show up to the pay-per-view this evening, as he's set to take on Wardlow in one of the biggest matches on the entire card. And if he decides to no-show the event, this entire story is likely to overshadow the pay-per-view itself. What do you guys make of this situation? Do you think MJF and AEW are working the fans? Let us know in the comments down below. And next up, is Goldberg going to replace him? Goldberg's WWE contract expired in February of this year, and despite rumors that he was going to sign another WWE deal, there's been no news on any communication between the two sides. Interestingly, during the latest Wrestling Observer Live, Dave Meltzer discussed that Goldberg was available to potentially replace MJF at tonight's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. This was strictly speculation on the part of Meltzer, and Meltzer adds that it would be incredibly expensive for Tony Khan to bring the former Universal Champion into the company. Would you guys like to see Goldberg in AEW? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Samoa Joe no-showed AEW Double or Nothing Fan Fest. Unfortunately, it wasn't just MJF who failed to attend the Double or Nothing Fan Fest, as Samoa Joe was also absent. According to fans at the event, nobody could give them any answers as to the whereabouts of Joe. A tweet from Bryan Alvarez has indicated that Joe didn't no-show the event deliberately, and a communication error led to Joe not making his scheduled appearance. The tweet read, "It appears the situation with Samoa Joe and the Fan Fest was a communication issue, so totally different from whatever is happening with MJF, who did no show." This was then supported by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, who tweeted out that Joe was double booked and consequently couldn't make the Fan Fest. Joe is set to meet Adam Cole tonight at Double or Nothing's pay-per-view in the finals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Next up, more AEW talent leaving for WWE. During a special edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Bryan Alvarez stated that there has been a big shift within AEW, and more AEW talent may be on their way to WWE in the near future. Alvarez stated, "There's a big shift among people in AEW, not like they won out, but it's definitely different in the sense that I get the impression that more people are willing to go to WWE if they get like a great offer. Whereas a couple of years ago, it wasn't like they wouldn't go if they were offered tons of money, but they were like so happy to be there in AEW. But now that they've seen Cody's made a lot of money and he's like a top guy and he's getting pushed, now things have absolutely changed in terms of the way that people view potentially going to WWE. It's evident that Rhodes' strong booking in WWE has had a wider impact, and it could potentially lead to a number of AEW talent looking to sign for Vince McMahon's global juggernaut." Next up, a WWE star getting a new gimmick. Madcap Moss is one of WWE's brightest young stars, and WWE are convinced that he is going to be a main event level star. The issue is that his current rather comedic gimmick has a glass ceiling, and the character is holding him back. Thankfully, it looks like WWE is finally giving Moss a new character. During this week's edition of SmackDown, it was announced that Madcap Moss will be returning next week. WrestlingNews.co have exclusively reported that Moss will be given a brand new gimmick upon his return, and the comedic elements of his character will be dropped indefinitely. And the report stated, WrestlingNews.co has learned that there have been pitches to have Moss drop the comedy aspects from his character, and there's been talk of him getting new gear and new music. Moss took to Twitter to confirm that the fans will see a brand new side of him next week. He tweeted, "You spit in the face of Andre's legacy. You tried to end my career, but you didn't, cause Madcap is built different. Corbin, get ready to see a side of me you've never seen before. No jokes, no cap. Next week on SmackDown, I'm coming to whoop your ass." It'll be interesting to see what this new character involves, and hopefully the new character helps Moss get to the next level. Next up, WWE mentioned AEW star and congratulatory tweet. That was a great weekend for Charlotte Flair and Andrade as they tied the knot this past Friday. WWE would post a tweet congratulating the happy couple, and they even tagged Andrade in the tweet. They tweeted, "Wedding bells are ringing. Charlotte Flair married Andrade in a beautiful ceremony in Mexico." This marks the first time that WWE have mentioned Andrade in any capacity since his WWE release. AEW also tweeted out their well wishes to the happy couple, and they also tagged Charlotte in their respective tweet. Next up, WWE UK pay-per-view sets new record. A Clash at the Castle will mark WWE's first stadium show in 30 years in the UK, and the pay-per-view is already setting records thanks to high demand for tickets. Although no matches have been made official for the event in September, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter states that the ticket sales for the event have been strong. Although the show hasn't sold out yet, it's looking like the show will become the largest non-WrestleMania gate in the history of pro wrestling. WWE will be happy that at least one of their stadium shows is able to shift tickets. The WWE were forced to move Money in the Bank to a smaller arena due to poor ticket sales, so it's clear that WWE's idea of putting pay-per-views outside of WrestleMania, Royal Rumble and SummerSlam in a stadium doesn't always work. And finally, Bryan Danielson reveals why he left WWE. Our final story today examines Bryan Danielson's reason for leaving WWE last year. Bryan shocked the fans in 2021 when he decided to part ways with WWE in favor of signing with AEW. Bryan was one of WWE's top guys, but he wanted to work with new talent, and the AEW contract on offer would give him much more time with his family. During an interview with Sports Illustrated, Bryan went into detail in relation to why he jumped ship to AEW, and this is what the former champion had to say. "I read this great book, 4,000 Weeks, and I was just telling my friend about it. The book says it's about time management, but it's actually a book about philosophy. The average lifespan is only 4,000 weeks. If you can look at where I am now, I'm 2,000 weeks in, and I've got 2,000 weeks left. With all the craziness in the world, do I want to spend the rest of those weeks entertaining people, or do I want to spend more time with my family? That's actually one of the reasons why I chose AEW. It allows me the ability to have a little more freedom with my wrestling and wrestle different people with different styles, but it's also to spend more time with my family." As tonight at Double or Nothing, Bryan will team with Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz to take on Chris Jericho, Jack Hager 2.0 and Daniel Garcia of Jericho's Appreciation Society in the inaugural Anarchy in an Arena match. But there you have it folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.